We're halfway through the year, and the chaos has not stopped. ICE has been given permission to raid churches and schools now, and they are going to schools and snatching people up. We've got a few videos to watch, and chaos of the year, it just keeps reaching levels previously unpredicted.
Preventing ICE from making arrests in a variety of locations, including schools and churches, goes back to 2011. And now, just one full day into President Trump's second term, teachers and religious leaders are preparing to protect their students and parishioners.
Okay, that is odd that in 2011 they somehow gave like protection to churches and schools, made them basically safe havens. So if you can make it to church, if you're about to get caught, but you can run as fast as possible, make it to church, you can't get caught. That's a little wild.
And we're getting them out of the country. We just started that. We're getting them out of the country, and they're going to be gotten out of the country fast.
President Trump addressing one of his top campaign promises on his first full day in office. The Trump administration authorizing ICE agents to target schools and churches. We talked to a CPS teacher and CTU delegate for her school who says teachers have been preparing for changes to immigration policy.
I think that it's rather disgusting and shameful that he's decided to target children or, people that seek refuge in churches.
Erin says the so-called sanctuary team at her school includes nearly a dozen teachers. The Chicago Teachers Union says these teams are an effort to make sure educators know what to do in case of a raid.
We started attending Know Your Rights training so that we could know how to defend ourselves and our students if if ICE tries to communicate with us or potentially.
What does that mean? Is it a practice within the school that is essentially to go against a federal mandate? There are different levels to things, right? And when it comes to police and them throwing around their power, a lot of what police enforce, I can't be in complete agreement with it. There's also some federal bodies that I don't completely agree with. But certain federal bodies are given power for a reason, And if the military tells me to evacuate from a city for a particular reason or because there's a humongous bomb threat or it's potentially about to get nuked, I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to do that. So I don't know if that's allowed, right?
Detain somebody.
In a statement to ABC7, CPS says it does not plan to share private student-level information with ICE, except in the rare case where there's a court order or consent from a parent or guardian. In Pilsen, Pastor Emma Lozano of Lincoln United Methodist Church says they've gone virtual with their service to protect parishioners.
Some people are going to have to hide and stay out of sight. Maybe some kids won't go to school. We don't know.
So that was a couple months ago, and now we're seeing the results. Actual activity happening on this. And just 2 weeks ago, we've got a fourth grader getting taken out of a school.
It's behind bars tonight, being held by ICE after going to an immigration hearing with his father. Tonight, teachers and community members at his elementary school are coming together to bring Martyr Lara home.
Mary Beth McDade live in Torrance with more on how Martyr ended up in detention. Mary Beth.
Hello there, you guys. Yes, Torrance Elementary is winding down for the school year. Many students getting their final grades and their summer reading lists. That is, except for one fourth grader. The PTA president says that he went with his father last Thursday down to Texas for a hearing on their immigration status. And then after that hearing, they were separated and detained. No doubt a very scary situation for a little boy.
That's a hard thing, right? Because obviously, like a news article like this plays on your heart. It's a child who's trying to get educated and try to learn, who has no idea of what's going on or the politics that exist within the country that he's a part of, or the country that he's currently in. It has nothing to do with him, the fact that he's even here at the moment. That being said, the alternative, what would it be? A much worse education back home? It might even be worth the risk. It is worth the risk in a lot of people's heads to risk this, even if this is the end result. At least he got 4 good years of education here, despite us not being the best in education at all. But two sides to everything.
Torrance Elementary received word that one of their students, a fourth grader named Martyr Garcia Lara, and his father, Martyr Garcia, are being detained in Houston, Texas by ICE agents.
They drove to Houston, Texas to attend to a court hearing. From what I've been told is that after the court hearing, the dad was detained by ICE and the son was separated and also detained by ICE.
The bait and switch.
And he's alone. He's not able to return home.
Teachers at the school apparently reached out to PTA President Jasmine King and the rest of the PTA, asking for aid in getting Martyr released and back to school in Torrance.
We found out from our school staff that they needed help getting him back home. They didn't know how to get him here, so we've been contacting our local government to help us try to get into contact with Houston and see if there's any way we can bring him home to California.
The PTA has reached out to their federal, state, and local leaders for help and are asking others to do the same.
We have not received any information about why they were detained. All we know is that Martyr was just a fourth grader, 9 or 10 years old, by himself, without his dad, without a parent, and just in a place that he probably doesn't know.
So, a fourth grader taken out of school, detained. Obviously, he's not the reason that he's even in this situation. Pretty wild. And here we've got this video, right? I know this is super serious, but it kind of had me funny. Kind of had me laughing. Just the black dude crying about some ice raids.
Fuck, yo. City schools are predominantly Hispanic. They were having their graduation, and there's helicopters in the sky, and a bunch of parents have to run out because ISIS is there. They don't have papers, and they had to leave their kids because the kids...
Is that what people are doing now? Are they calling ICE ISIS? It's a little bit funny, but is that what they're doing?
Do? What type of shit is this, yo? And then kids are freaking grabbing teachers and crying on their leg because they don't know if they're about to see their parents when they get home? What the fuck is this? And we voted for this shit?
I mean, we did. We definitely did.
15 people just got picked up on Wilshire at the Home Depot. On Wilshire. Yo.
Okay, that's the one place y'all can leave alone. Like, can y'all not go to the Home Depots and the Lowe's and stuff? Like, there are many reasons we don't have affordable houses, but that's definitely not going to help. I've seen some construction sites that are completely empty as a result of the ice raids. Can y'all leave them alone, right? Can we have, like, an exception? Can we get work visas expedited for construction workers? Yeah, you know, I'm just saying.
Communities across the country, including here in Chicago, are feeling the impact from ramped-up ICE operations. Jeff Paul has more from Los Angeles.
After days of protests and ramped-up ICE operations, leaders in Los Angeles say residents are full of fear and uncertainty.
It was a ghost town. I went to Mariachi Plaza. It's a iconic location in the Mexican-American part of Los Angeles. I went to 4 restaurants. 3 of them had no customers in it.
ICE announced this week it will continue its operations in farms, restaurants, and hotels.
The American people want these public safety threats removed, and that's what ICE dedicated to do right now, is to make sure.
Okay, so I get that they want to make people angry, right? By like, oh, we got to get rid of these people. I don't like the fact that they're calling everybody a threat. Okay, now it is enough to say that a person is a criminal. They're doing something illegal, which is entering a country without permission. That's enough. You don't have to say that they're all threats and criminals. We know that the vast majority of them are not. Okay, that's just a little bit too far. It feels it feels very World War II. You know, it feels very World War II to demonize all of them and say, oh man, we got to get rid of these threats. No, most of them are just people. I just feel like there's a bit of disrespect by them assuming that we're stupid enough to just believe that all these people are deadly criminals and threats. It's okay. We understand what you're doing. We understand what this process is and what ICE is doing. You don't need to call the people threats and criminals. Like, it's a little bit too far.
Sure that we are taking the worst of the worst out of the neighborhoods.
But employers say many workers are not risking going out and just staying home.
We're a little behind in workers. People are scared about the current immigration situation. Many families don't want to leave their homes. They fear, well, what's going to happen to my family if I get caught?
And new research shows immigration enforcement may have also affected school attendance this year. A study from Stanford University found a more than 20% uptick in
It is crazy to see what the effects are going to be after a year, after all this actually happens, right? Tons of people are being removed. There were a ton removed during Joe Biden's term too. Let's not act like that didn't happen. But it's going to be crazy to see what the actual effects are. Because you can't judge any president off of the first couple of months. Things aren't looking good. Things are not looking good at all. But you can't judge any president off the first couple of months, right? You got to take your hands off, breathe. A couple people are trying to get him impeached. But after a year, to see the results of what all of the chaos currently happening actually is, it's going to be very interesting to see.
absences in several California schools during the first 2 months of 2025 compared to last year. This period coincides with a series of sweeps in which dozens of day workers were arrested by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. DHS has since lifted restrictions on immigration arrests in sensitive areas, saying criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest. Local leaders say students are being forced to choose between their education or safety. This comes as a federal appeals court ruled that California National Guard troops can stay under President Trump's control over objections from California Governor Gavin Newsom. In Los Angeles, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
I mean, ultimately, the federal government has all the power. Crazy situation. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Have a good day.